Hello everyone, this is Darwell20 and welcome to episode 98 of Darwell20's MCEternal series, where today I'm looking at radiation scrubbers, I think. I feel like before we get into higher levels of radiation, we should get ready to handle that, right? So two things we're going to want to do. One, we're going to want radiation scrubbers, which are pretty expensive to make. It requires automating a lot of stuff. There's a huge amount of automation that we're going to need to do to really make this work. So that said, we're gonna focus on that today, is getting all that set up. The other thing we're going to want is some rad away at some point, so we'll want to automate that. That's easy to automate by comparison to the things we have to automate for radiation scrubbers. And then finally, we probably want some radiation shielding, which my understanding is that I can insert some light, medium, or heavy radiation shielding into my armor, and it'll give me some rad resistance while worn. So that shouldn't be too bad to do. I'm thinking heavy, right, obviously, but we're going to need some things that we don't quite have available to us just yet. At some point soon-ish, we will probably have some of these things automatable, but at this point, like beryllium, I think that comes from where? Beryllium dust is probably one of the rock crusher things. Yeah, it is. Nice. Cool. So let's look at automating the most complex thing first, and then the other things will be relatively easy, and that is radiation scrubbers. Radiation scrubbers require two resources that require a lot of chemical processing. Now, what I'm going to do, because I'm doing this different than I've done in the past, we've only ever once done this, and that was in the MCEternal series, and that was pure nuclear craft. This time I'm going to change it up, and I'm going to use some of the resources that we're already producing through mechanism to make our lives a little bit easier, because why reinvent the wheel? There are things like sulfuric acid that are needed at some point in here. I forget where, but something needs sulfuric acid. So like we can probably look at doing something along those lines, right? And that's the plan, right? We've already got sulfuric acid being made. Some things require hydrogen. We're already making that. Some things require ethylene, for example, is used in one of these things. So yeah, that'll make us sulfur trioxide, which can be used to make sulfuric acid. So I may not even need to do that, because we already have sulfuric acid going on, don't we? We do. We super do. And that combines with fluorite water to make hydrofluoric acid, which makes... No, wait. Calcium sulfate? Yeah, that's what we need. Calcium sulfate. Yeah, that's what we need. Yeah. It's a long list of things we need. Let's look at radiation scrubbers. We'll start with that, and we'll work backwards, right? But the plan is to use some of the resources we already have, and as a result, I made myself a bunch of quantum entangleopers that I can hook up. But let's look real quick, right? So radiation scrubbers need the following. First, we need to get borax, right? And extreme alloys. Extreme alloys are easy. It's hard carbon and tough alloys. I think we're already automating tough alloys. Hard carbon, if we're not automating already, is just diamond and graphite. So relatively speaking, it's easy, right? Diamond and graphite ingots. Should be simple. Borax, on the other hand, a little bit of work. Needs borax solution, which is made in a chemical reactor between sodium fluoride solution and boric acid. Yeah, now we're getting somewhere, right? Boric acid is made with water and diborane, which is made with hydrogen and molten boron. So already making hydrogen, and molten boron's easy. You just melt the boron that we're crafting with seeds, right? So that'll be easy. Water is simple. That gets us boric acid. Combine that with sodium fluoride solution, which is made with sodium fluoride, which is made with crushed williamite, which is made in a rock crusher. Okay, cool. That might be the easier way to make sodium fluoride. How else do you make sodium fluoride? We could also do a chemical reactor. Fluoromethylene and molten sodium hydroxide. Sounds like a lot of effort there. Yeah. Like, I think it's very hard to keep track of all the things we need. But borax is going to need a borax solution, which is boric acid, which is diborane, right? And we'll just stop there because that's hydrogen and molten boron, so that's easy, right? And then you're going to need sodium fluoride, which is made with sodium fluoride, which is crushed williamite, which is a rock crusher from granite. Cool? Easy peasy-ish. So that's That's part of borax. Is that all borax? That might be all borax, right? Boric acid and sodium fluoride. Yeah, so that gets you borax. Now, the other thing that we need to do for our radiation scrubber is make elite plating, which needs crystal binders. Crystal binders need magnesium dust, check. Polarized obsidian, check. Calcium sulfate, which is a little bit of effort. And crushed rhodochrosite, which is easy, it's just granite. So that should be simple. But calcium sulfite needs calcium sulfite solution, which is made with sulfuric acid, which we're already producing, and fluorite water. And fluorite water is made with a fluid enricher with water and crushed fluorite. So not too shabby. So we should be able to pull all this off. All right, guys, let's get started with rock crushers, because I feel like that's probably kind of going to be your best bet for getting stuff started. And I'm just going to run a whole bunch of cabling everywhere, and we will tidy it up once we finalize this room, right? I think that's probably the best approach, right? To do that. So let's start with 3 rock crushers, boom, 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 right there, and they'll get all the powers in the world. And I'm thinking from nuclear craft. Let's see here. I'm gonna get you, and then another half stack of each of you, and I'm gonna do half a stack of this and half a stack of that. About half a stack is probably plenty for speed upgrades. I've noticed that there's definitely diminishing returns on these things, so like the more upgrades you put in, the less effect each one has, where like half a stack seems like a pretty decent balancing point for that. Now, should I put the drawers right here or not? Because I could put the drawers like right above it. I don't think you're going to auto output to a drawer, are you? Probably not. Let's find out. Oh wow, we have a comically small number of things. Alright, let's try that again. Drawer. Thank you, so much better. So if I were to get like andesite, for example, wow, we don't have a lot of that, but we're going to get some. And that, by the way, is how we're going to automate that. So you're just doing beryllium dust, is that right? No, you just have a lower chance of doing the others. Okay, cool. Now, if I side config you, output slot configuration, output top, I guess you won't auto output is the problem. Yeah, so that seems to be the issue, right? So we're going to need to pipe out of these dudes. And we're going to need to pipe into these dudes. And should we put the drawers out with our main drawer system? I'm thinking that's probably the easiest way to go. So yeah, let's do that, shall we? Am I missing something? Am I missing something when drawers became invulnerable? So what we're going to do is let's actually get all the dust that we're going to need for each one of these. So we'll get the andesite, we'll get the granite, and we'll get the other types in a minute here. You guys can go, let's put our key in our offhand. That should be cool. Ah! Perfect. Ish. Okay. So you and you go away. So you're going to be my andesite drawer. And we will go most, middle, least. Cool? All right, so then the other thing we need is granite. All right, so we'll get half a stack of that. And then while that's cooking, we'll get the diorite, right? Half a stack of that. And that should be enough for now. Okay, I'm going to put you guys there, and then you guys can go in there. We get a lot of sulfur for that, by the way. It's all good. It's all good. Okay. Just for the sake of making it look cool, we're going to go ahead and put the sulfur in there, even though we already have a drawer for sulfur, in fairness. And then you're going to get these guys. Cool. All right. So that'll do that for us. Now the question becomes, how are we going to handle getting things in and out of here? So I've got a plan for that. As you guys are probably aware, I usually have some kind of plan in my brain, and it usually involves a little bit of automation, which everybody seems to enjoy. All right, so we're going to do item ducts. Cool. And we're going to have filters for the item ducts. Now, do we have normal filters? All right, so let's do this. Let's have a single interface that we're going to set up here with some of this, right? So we're going to want our cabling to run down here. Now, I might need more cables, so that's fine. Do we have any smart cable? We can get some. I love that I can just, like, click give me 100 of something and not even, like, think twice about it. We've absolutely reached the point where resources don't matter, and we're having fun. Coming up with cool automations and all the good things. All right, so now what we want is granite, diorite. Let's get 16 of each, or 32 of each. I think that's a good approach, right? And I'm going to teach the A system how to make all these, and andesite. Cool. No, not that, not that. This. So let's get a crafting card. That should be cool. Should be quick-ish. Well, I guess while you're working, let's do this. All right, so we've got to teach you how to make each of these with this stuff, right? So you, and you. Okay. Now we should have our crafting card. Yep. So into here go you. And then boom, boom, boom. And it should craft on demand to make those things all done. Now, the other thing I should, by the way, do is add more auto crafters, because we have a lot of things crafting on demand, if you think about it. So our crafters are probably very frequently being used, but we'll get there with that. The other thing we should do before I forget, because you know I'm going to forget, don't automate things and not set them up to void. That would probably be my best advice to you. Actually, 2 more of them. And then 3 of these guys. I like just having the emeralds. What do you want from me? Speaking of auto-crafting things, I should probably just have it so that there's always a stack of sticks and like the other things that we frequently need a lot of. How's that sound? Cool? All right, I like that. All right, so you guys go away now. Well, actually, no, because I kind of still need those. Well, we'll get another stack from out of here. See? Watch this. Boom. Oh, look, more. Ha! Perfect. Love it. All right, so let's do... so you're going to be on the south. You're going to be extracting on green, insert on brown. You're going to extract on brown, insert on green. But not yet. Well, yeah, you can insert on green. That's fine. You're going to extract on brown, insert. Because this isn't actually extracting yet. It's not active, so it's not a problem. Insert, extract, always active. Cool, cool, cool. All right, so let's filter you on the insert to accept you. Let's filter you on the insert to accept you. And let's filter you to accept you. Cool. So now when we set this guy to extract always active, he should quickly fill these guys up. And you know what we should do? Extract speed upgrades would probably be appreciated here. And you just kick off a few more of them. See? How cool is that? I like it. And as long as you all keep up, we should be fine. If you need some extract speed upgrades, I will be happy to assist. But it looks like he's doing a pretty good job of keeping up. Okay, that's cool. Do I like that? Yeah, I think so. So these guys are going to run all the time. How much RF a tick are they using? 660? That ain't terrible. Because remember, because we put void upgrades in our drawers, these things are going to run all the time. They're never going to stop. They're never going to back stuff. They're never going to turn off when something fills up. And that's probably what you want, because what would happen if we did let it stop, right? What would happen is the rhodochrosite, for example, the red one, would fill up the drawer and then stop the machine. And if we weren't using that, but we were instead using the Williamite, right? Eventually we'd run out of Williamite and we wouldn't make any more because rhodochrosite was full. See how that works? So are there advanced sneaky tricks we could do to make sure that these things turned off when they're no longer needed? Absolutely. Is it something we're going to do? Probably not. All right, you should probably be working. What's going on, you? Oh. I don't know. Why are you no running? Did you just all of a sudden, like, decide, yeah, we're not doing this no more, or what? Did I miss the part where your extracting is not working? Did I miss something? Why are you not extracting? He seems to constantly only be doing granite. That's interesting. Maybe we just needed a little bit of extract speed help. I don't know why. Seems like a weird thing to need, but now you're behaving? It's almost like you need it again. All right, so let's do this. Let's only have like a handful of these in here, right? We'll do 5. I like that number. I like the number 5. It's a good number. Let's do under. Right? And now you'll be sure to be enough. Okay. Now we're keeping up. That's cool. If I wanted to, I could filter those extracts, but I don't think that's necessary. It seems like it's doing a good enough job keeping up. So I'm going to call that complete. So that's step 1. All right, so next steps. Let's talk about fluorite water, right? So fluorite water is going to be a fluid enricher. So I just kicked off making a bunch of the nuclear craft machines that we're going to need from here. So we've got some fluid enrichers and chemical reactors, and I even made a couple crystallizers because I know we're going to need those. So fluid enricher. Hello, Quests. Hello. Nice to see you. So you're going to need water for sure. Now, talk to me about Applied Energistics. Does Applied Energistics have like fluid support now, or is it Extra Cells still that does that? So there's definitely 4K fluid storage cells. This item has been replaced by the 4K ME fluid storage cell from Applied. And empty the cell using an MEI open break its components convert. Okay, cool. So there is still the extra cells too, but it looks like Applied Energistics still has the 4K fluid storage cell. Yes. So Applied Energistics has its own fluid storage system. Okay. Have we played with that before? How does that work? Export bus. So there's a fluid export bus. And there's a fluid interface. Would it make sense? And I'm not 100% sure, but maybe it would make sense to have a fluid drive system. How many different fluids can this thing have? I don't know, but let's get a drive. Really? With the cables and the not enough thing? That's not cool. He says as he only makes 10. Dyer, please. Hey, look, I made 100 more. Good job. Okay. So what if we put... I used this a minute ago to sort some of my stuff because we had some issues. You know what I never had? I never had a void on my quartz. You know what we had a lot of? Quartz. Yeah. So what do we got here? 7 in use. I could probably... I don't think I'm going to need you no mores. At least for now. So let's put an ME drive here. and let's teach you how to make fluid cells, because I don't really know enough about ME fluid cells to know how this is going to work. But 4K fluid cells sounds like enough, right? It has 5 different types, and we'll just find out how this works. So 4K ME fluid cells are going to need 4K ME fluid components, which are going to need 1K ME fluid components, and let's teach you guys how all that works. So that shouldn't be too big of a problem, right? So let me get like 10 of those, right? 4K ME fluid cells. Yes, give me like 10 of those. And we might want that thing from Applied Energistics where we get to tell it exactly what it's allowed to have, right? What's that thing called? Or we can like filter the cells? Cell manipulator or something? Cell workbench. This might be it. This might be it. I think this is what I want. Yeah, give me one of them, please. Now, I don't think that uses any network connections, so that's why it's not connecting to anything. But you put a cell in here and you specify what it's allowed to have. Cool. So there's your 4K fluid cells. So that's cool. Right? Now, priority. So you went in here. I just want to test this a little bit, right? So let's do some fluid import and export bus and fluid interface stuff so we can kind of see how everything works, I think. Would be cool. So we want fluid export bus, right? Fluid import bus. Am I crazy or am I not seeing one? There's the fluid interface. There's the fluid import bus. Cool. And there's also the fluid storage bus, which might be cool. That's the other interface. Storage bus. I feel like that might be a cool one to have. Just so we know all the things, right? Because at some point we might wind up using some of this. Maybe we'll use tanks instead of cells. I don't know. We'll figure it out. So if I just want to understand how this works, right? So what I'm going to do is I've got you here. Right? Now, I haven't specified a type on you yet. And that's what I want to figure out, right? Do I have to specify a type, or will it just, if it's untyped, like normal items, like part of me wants to say like we want to have strong controls over how much of what goes in, right? So I'd like to import a fluid and stop producing that fluid when we have enough of it. And that's going to be different, obviously, than what we have over here, where we're only going to have one machine making a fluid at a time. But let's say that you've got enough channels over here. You do, right? So let's get an import bus for fluids, right? And see how this works. So if I were to do that, are you going to start? You are. So you've got 1 of 5 types. Oh, I'm a network engineer. Look at that. Go me. Okay. And you seem to be doing a good job. So let's get a fluid terminal dude, right? Fluid terminal. Sounds like a good time. So we're going to need you. Oh, we have half the things we need. Let's get like a 10-ish of these guys. And that should be cool. Thinking. There you are. So that's normal terminal. This will be fluid terminal. How are we on channels down here? I want to make sure that we're not... I don't think it's a problem to use these channels. Yeah, no, we only have 3 in use there, so that's fine. Good job, me. Good job indeed. Actually, we should be able to put you there, and then the fluid terminal there. And I kind of want to see how this looks, right? So yeah, he's just filling up with lava. That's cool. I mean, I like that. I definitely think that's neat. But I think that we should make it a point to whitelist our cells, right? We should make it a point to say only certain cells are allowed in here. And that's what we're going to do for sure. See? Trying to keep it nice-ish. So, like, if we came down here and we took this cell out for a minute and we put it into the cell workbench, and we configure it based on your current stuff. Now you're only allowed to have lava, right? So should we have one? Yeah, so he's only allowed lava. So that's cool. Okay. So his types, that's why he's orange, because he's full on types, right? Now why are you flickering between 39 and 40 out of 4096 bytes? That's a little bit weird, right? Shouldn't you be like just increasing in bytes? I mean, I love that we're importing all this lava, but maybe I should stop. Alright, now he's at 41. Alright, so let's do what we really want to do. Which is, we don't want lava, we want water, right? So let's tap into, somewhere down here I've got a sink, right? Yeah, I totally do. That's cool. Oh, yeah, good. Just rain sand on me all the time. That's exactly what I want. That's what I get for building in a desert. I've said it once, I'll say it again. Don't build in a desert like Dyer does. It's a bad idea. So do I have a nice handy cable around here that's like Applied Energistics-y? So I could either tap in a fluid interface, you know, or not. Wow, you're doing a lot of stuff, aren't you? Are you bouncing? I guess you are, aren't you? That's not great. It's not great, is it? Definitely not. What do we got? What do we got? This is an ore dictionifier. That's the security terminal. So I bet we could run the cable down there. How's the channels on this? So you are this guy. You've currently got 4 channels in use, right? So let's run some cables. Well, you're tapping into the ceiling here, but I bet we could run this perfectly here. Sweet. Okay. That's cool. Do I get a wireless fluid terminal with this guy? I don't know. Is there a wireless fluid terminal? Because there's the wireless crafting terminal. So there is. Can we add? Yeah, we can. That's cool. Wireless universal terminal. That's neat. There's gas. Oh, there is gas storage. That's cool. Extra Cells has gas storage. That's kind of spiffy. Kind of curious. All right, so let's see. So we're not importing anything right now because our fluid things are empty, right? But I'm going to put you in here, and we're going to specify water as the type of thing you're allowed to have. And I'm only going to go with 1K fluid storage because it looks to me, call me crazy, it looks to me like things are a little bit hectic. Oh, there's my 1K fluid storage cell. I wonder where that thing went. Do you not want to go in here? Why do you not want to go in here? Do what now? Why can't I put you in there? Okay, I think I just voided it. I mean, I don't care, but that's interesting. Interesting! You can't put 1K fluid storage cells inside there? Super weird. Why can't I do that? You know what? I'm just going to trash can it. This thing has a bunch of lava in it that I don't care about. All right, so you're filling up with fluid storage, right? Let's get a fluid, another ME fluid terminal. So applied, get me like 10 of these real quick, and 10 more. Get me a bunch more of those, because we could always use more of them. So what I'm going to do is try and combine my fluid terminal with my wireless terminal so that we have ultimate, right? That would be cool. There we go. So does that mean now that I can take this bobble off here and do this? Ooh, that's neat. Sweet. So sort by number of items. Yes. JEI synchronized standard keep. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. Auto consume boosters, whatever. So how would one switch this into fluid mode? Maybe it's the view button? Alright, we've got too much junk overlaying here. Stored items, craftable, stored, crafted. Nope, so that's definitely not it. That's definitely not it. Well, that's neat to know. I didn't know that. How does one, now that we have turned this into a wireless universal terminal with fluid installed, how do we see fluids? That's what I want to know. Let me figure this out. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, I figured out how to do it. So what you want to do is shift-click the item. That stinks a lot. So what you want to do is shift-click the item. You can't open it. So let's see if mod options config wireless crafting terminal. There's not a config for it. Controls category wireless. Activate, deactivate, open wireless crafting terminal. So you can open the wireless crafting terminal with tab and keep it as a bauble. But if you want to access the fluids, you have to click it. So I can keep it in fluids mode, and I can hit tab still to open it. So that's cool. It's probably not common that I'll need to access this fluid terminal remotely, but knowing that I can is good. So we've currently got, I want to see how many buckets of water you actually hold in here, right? So I'm going to get my acceleration card. The good news is, like I said, can I put you guys in here and make that fast? That would be cool. That's cooking. So I'm assuming 1024 buckets. Is that a reasonable assumption? I have no idea. We're going to find out. I don't want a search window in my wireless. Like, it's fluids. I don't know that I need to search fluids. We ain't going to have all that much. So, no, it is way more than 1024 buckets. Holy cow, it's a lot more, isn't it? Because we're already well above 1,000 buckets. Wow, you hold a lot, Buster. I'm not sure I want ME fluid storage cell, but I don't want to have that much fluid backed up. Like I'd ideally like to stop it at 1,000 buckets or something, but that is going to get super hard to automate. You know, I would think a 1K ME fluid storage cell would hold like 1,000 buckets. It seems, you know, either 1,000 millibuckets or 1,000 buckets. Well, 1,000 millibuckets is 1 bucket, so okay, no, maybe not that. But 1,000 buckets seems like a reasonable amount. This thing seems like it holds like 10,000 buckets, right? Because we're well beyond 3,000 buckets, right? Of a water. So let's see what it holds, right? Keeping in mind, right, that like the top tier mechanism tank, which is pretty top tier to be fair, the ultimate tank holds 112 buckets. The ultimate fluid tank is 112 buckets, right? And we're now well past 4,000. Like, I don't even know how much it is, and holding shift doesn't tell me, so that's not fun. Let's do this guy. Okay, that'll tell me how much it is. Oh, that stinks. I like this guy a lot better than I like this guy because of like the search buttoning and all that. I don't like anything about the wireless. I don't think I like it. There we go. Kind of full. Good job, ME fluid handling. 1,025 of 1,024 bytes. I'm guessing what this was supposed to do was, I don't know what that was supposed to be, but 8,131.5 buckets. 8096, would that be the, I bet 8096 is where it should be. I bet it's supposed to be 8096 would be the, but for some reason it decided to overflow itself. That's not a good thing. Well, so that tells me how that works. 8,000 buckets seems like a lot of buckets. Compared, like, so the other thing we could do is have fluid tanks with storage buses, but that just gets really stupid. What I was thinking was I would want to do some kind of thing down here where we could, where I definitely want water happening, right? Water happening is definitely fine with me, right? But we could absolutely now do an export bus right? Or even a fluid interface, right? Right here. Fluid interface. Give me like 10 of those, because that should be relatively easy to do, right? So let's put you like, well, yeah, you can go here. I like that. Right? And what you're going to do is keep water outputting. Yeah. And then you on the south can be extract, not insert. And then you're ready to rock. Right? And then what we could have done is then imported right into the system because what we're making next is fluoride water, right? And that's water plus crushed fluorite. So what we would want here is crushed fluorite. Let's get half a stack. Right? And we would have item conduits with a filter. I should really be auto-crafting these at this point. Shift-clicking output slot of crafting grid will send items to your inventory. Yes, please. On the north, you're going to be crushed fluorite. Insert, not extract, right? So now you're doing that, and we're talking nuclear craft. Give me half a stack of each. Right? So then we could have imported, so we could have, instead of using the pressurized fluid conduit, we would use the better conduit, the Ender one, which I might have to teach you how to make. And while I'm up here, item filters 2. Please. So you don't know how to make any fluid conduits, so let's just go Ender fluid conduits, right? That would be fine. And that's just normal fused quartz. And I might as well teach you this one as well. Just so we can have both, right? But that would have been cool. Not sure how I feel about it. The problem is I was thinking it would be like a smallish number in the buffer, right? I want to have like 100 buckets of this fluoride water available. 8,000 buckets is a lot of buckets. It's a little bit of a stupid amount, right? If you think about like 8,000 buckets, not millibuckets, buckets. It's a lot bigger than you think. So we'd have to basically let this fluid enricher run for a really long time to fill up that cell. Anyway, I think it's wrapping up point. So Darryl20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll come back next time. I'm going to think about how I want to store my fluids. I want fluids to be available through the AE system. I think that would be cool. I'm just concerned about how much storage we would need to make that possible, because storing such a large amount of fluoride water seems like a huge waste to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. To be fair, this stuff is all just being generated out of nothing. Right? Like, it's water and infinite rocks that are growing outside in crop form. So there's literally no reason not to do it. It's not like we're going to run out of crushed fluorite or anything. It's just, conceptually to me, it feels like storing 8,000 buckets when you really only might need like 100 or 2 is just a big waste. I don't know. Man, I'm just weird. Anyway, wrapping up point. Darryl20 signing off. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.